Hello, welcome back to Desert Dogs Garage and Metalworks. My name is Harry. Hey, hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. Today I am going to pull the push rods back out of my 1999 Harley Davidson Road King. I put these in not too long ago, and the other day I was adjusting the push rods and I pulled one out and I noticed the ends of the tips where the oil goes through, they're not the same size as my stock original Harley Davidson push rod. So I'm not getting as much oil up to the top end as I was before, and I don't like that. So I'm going to pull them out, put them on my lathe, and I'm going to drill them out the appropriate size. So stick around in this episode and see what kind of trouble I get into. Should work. Well, I'm going to pull these ones out right here, right now, and I'll show you how I do that. Pull them clips off and they just spring into action. All right, that one. All right, now I push that up there. Push that all the way up in there. Now I have myself a little rubber band O-ring thing that leaves to push that up. Now, what you see here, right down here, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, I've got to loosen up. First thing I got to do is I've got to rotate the engine so that they're not on the cam lobe. So these are at their lowest position right here. I'm going to pop this other one up out of my way too. That way I can make sure they both are up there at the same time, because I'm going to pull both these out at the same time. All right, that one I kind of got to hold. All right, so I'm going to rotate my back tire, and these are both, I want these when they're all the way down, both of them at the same time. The other one went up. Okay, now it's down. They're both down off the cam lobe because I'm spinning the back tire here and they're not going up and down. So both of these are off the cam lobe there on the base circle. So I'm going to drop that one down. I know that's good. And then I got to break these. All right, loosened up. Now I just spin this one all the way up. I'm going to work them both here. I'm going to play a little game with it here. Because also on this thread, there's a flat thread on there that's 3/8. So what I do is I hold that. Now I'm pulling this up. So this is going up the shaft, up the push rod, so it'll be really loose here coming up. Okay, so I got all that play. Now I just keep doing that. I get this nut out of my way. Get my wrench back on there. And just keep on spinning that. Right up the top as I work this one up too. Okay, now that one is totally off the threads. Now, I'm going to put this back on. And I am just going to work that up all the way till it pushes me off the wrench. All right, now I have to take my needle nose and just hold that a little bit till the threads are off this, then they'll just pull right out. I got to keep working this down and this that way and this that way. Pretty soon she'll be off there. All right, so now that there, and if you can see that, all right. Okay, so that one is out. There's my push rod right there. Okay, clip is off. And there's my push rod right there. I got to put my O-ring back in here. And there is the push rod. I'll get it on the bench and explain to you why I'm drilling these out. So All right, so the reason I'm going to drill these out here is I will show you. I will grab my bit. These are the original Harley Davidson push rods right here. That's the ones I pulled out and I put these in, which is this right here with a locking nut right there. So like I said, I purchased these, and the other day when I adjusted these, I did pull these out here just for some reason, and I looked at the ends, and the ends, I don't know if you can see that, but the ends of these, this holes on each end here is larger than these here. So there's no way these push rods right here are pumping as much oil as these. There's no way. Now they're Fueling push rods, which I like the adjustments on them, but I ain't happy with that. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe they'll catch up on this and explain it to me. But these are OEM Harley, and that's what I'm going to do the tips at. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my drill. I'll show you here. This is a .96 solid carbide bit. Drill bit. It's just a twist drill. It fits in there perfect. It fits in there great. It'll go all the way through there. This one here will not go in these ends right here. Won't go in. These are smaller. These are like .65, I think I measured, somewhere around in there. But they're deep all the way through here, and this whole chamber here, this goes all the way in. So it's bored larger than this, all the way down to about there. I can see it with the light when I stick a flashlight in there. And here is about the same too. Right about here is where the narrow part is till there, so bust through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on my lathe, and I'll get all set up over there, and we'll get to cutting these and make the holes larger, pump some more oil. All right, I'm over here on my old Atlas Craftsman lathe. So I got one of my tips in there. I got the fat end in here, and I've got my drill all chucked up here. So I'm ready to drill. I'm going to give her a little grease. Now, you ain't going to be able to drill through these with a regular standard drill bit. You're not going to do it. I heard people do it. Take it to a machine shop or purchase you one. It's not that hard to do. But anyway, carbide's the only thing that's going to drill through these, because them are hardened tips at the end right there. So let's get this one cut through and go get the other one in there. Cutting. I'm going to back it out. Now I'm going to take my time at this, because I don't want to break a bit off in there. Check, check. Go slow. Pull her out. Clean it off. Pull it out. Let her clean off. All right, I'm through there. Want to make that end a little down in there, give it a little bevel. Just a little bit. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's get that out of the chuck. That is a drilled out hole right there. So that is the same diameter as the other one. So I'm going to get the other end in here, and we'll get this one cut. So hang on. All right, this one's chucked in here. Let's get to boring that one out. Go slow. All right, that end is drilled out. Both of them are drilled, and I just got to put a little chamfer on here with my chamfering bit, make that a little bit smoother in there and chamfer that. But anyway, that's how you do it. It's pretty easy. So yeah, like I said, you're gonna have to get a carbide bit if you do it. I would say take it to a machine shop, because then you can get it lined up in here pretty good. A regular drill bit, I'm going slow at a slower RPM. You could probably do it with a hand drill, but with a carbide bit, carbide's brittle and it breaks pretty easy if you don't watch it and go slow. But you could do it. I ain't saying you couldn't. I'm sure people have done it. Old timers, you do this all the time. Yeah, so that's bored out. I'm going to get that out, clean these out real good. I'll get the other push rods out, get them bored out. You don't need to see me bore you with me doing all this again, so we'll see you when I'm done boring all these out. All right, well, I got them all drilled out. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is 0.960 on each side of all these again. And there's a big difference. When I went and blew through this one, when I discovered this one is kind of easy to blow into. These were restricted. They were tougher to blow in, but after I got them all out, they're the same as this. So they're all ready to go. This is the part number. This is what I used. Fullerton. I think the part number is 13226.960, and that is the drill bit that I used. So, all right, well, let's get these things in there and I'll show you how I adjust them. All right, let's install these. I'll show you how I install these. Now, these are probably different than others too, S&S and all that. They probably have different, but you got flats on these nuts. There's 6 flats on that nut. Each time you rotate that 6 times, you're moving this 50 thousandths of an inch. Now on these lifters, there's about 200 thousandths of travel in these lifters before they bottom out. So you normally set them right about 100 thousandths, which would be 2 full turns of this, because 1 full turn is 50 thousandths. Add up 50, 50, that's what, 100 thousandths of an inch. So that's how I set them 100 thousandths plus 2 flats. That's it. Get them just a little bit more there. It seems to help the, keeps it a little more quiet. So, all right, I got to collapse this, get it to that point, and then I've got to get my push rod tube, make sure my gasket is down in there. Gasket is in there. Now it's kind of like a little puzzle here. Not too bad. All right, so this one is exhaust. Now I did all the other ones. I think you watching me do one is good. All right, I got this little band that I put up on a nut, and it comes right in here and it holds that push rod tube up, so I got access to the threads. Okay, so I got this one right here. Now I take my needle nose, get it in here now, and I just travel this down because I got to push this up here. I got to push. I guess you're having a hard time seeing. See how that works out. So, yeah, same thing. Yeah, it might work. All right, so, shit, there's hard to see here. All right. Okay, there, that's probably better. Now, this push rod, you can see it goes up and down like this. So what I do is I just keep pushing this rod up until now you can see my threads are starting to go. Okay, so she is threading right there. All right, let's kind of get her back here more. Okay, so it is threading. Now I gotta drop my nut. This thing gets in the way sometimes. I gotta move that around, and I get my in here, and I just keep traveling that down. I got my nut up all the way there. All right, now you'll start to see there's some thread showing up right here. Get my nut down. Now I just kind of gotta keep threading that one down. This one I gotta get down till I can, there we go. It'll start to go. Kind of gotta hold that out of the way too. Now I just spin that down. Hard to see. My fingers are blocking light here. There. So I just spin that down till now I'm on top of that. And I still got my flats right there. Still got my flat. Now I got my flat back. I wish they'd put flat all the way through, but I guess they didn't, so that you could tighten this down all the way. All right, I gotta keep traveling down. It's kind of like a circus here. Sometimes another wrench helps. All right, keep getting that down. Now again, I've got this. I got this off of. I got these lifters off on the base circle of my cam. I don't have it on the lobes again. You make sure that both lifters are on. You make sure both lifters are on the base of the cam, not on the lifter. Okay, so now I'm getting there. I'm kind of starting to tighten up here. See that right there, okay? So now I just tighten that up with my finger a little bit. I tighten it much as I can with my finger. Okay, there's nothing in there right now. There's a little wobble back and forth because that nut ain't tight. So then I mark that flat with that. Now, six turns is 50 thousandths. So I want to go 2 full turns, which is 100 thousandths plus 2 flats. So it roughly is about 116 thousandths. Okay, so get in my mark right there. I gotta get that a little bit out of the way. All right, and 1 flat, 2 flat, 3 flats, 4 flats, 5 flats, 6 flats. All right, that's 50 thousandths. 1 flat, 2 flat, 3 flat, 4 flats, 5 flats, 6 flats. All right, so that's 100 thousandths. Now I go 2 more flats. 1, 2, and that's just a little bit more. That's about, if I calculate it right, it's about 116 thousandths of an inch. So I've got you got travel in that lifter for it to go up and down. Now I just snug this up a little bit. Snug that on there. And then I get my wrench and we lock this together. Hope this is all coming out. Okay, give her ow. Give her a good little tight pinch right there and she's good to go. I drop this, get my rubber grommet off there. I gotta get my pushrod tube up, get this down. All right, now I gotta get that up in there. Probably not gonna be able to see much of this, but I gotta get that up in there. You'll feel it, there it goes. Hold that down, get my bottom in, go back, chase my top, make sure okay, so now my top's in, now I gotta fudge my bottom. Kind of a little tough because I got a cut on my finger. Got into a fight with a grinder the other day. Mama put in 5 stitches for me. Clean it up real good, scrub on it, and stitch it up. All right, now here's how I put these pushrod tube covers on. Just like that. Give her a push. Work it in, and she's in. There. So that's how we did it. Okay, now I gotta let that sit for about 10-15 minutes because there's a lot of pressure. I want them to settle down in that oil, that hydraulic oil on that, motor oil on the push rod. It's got to settle down, settle in there a little bit. So I'm gonna give it about 10-15 minutes. We'll come back. In the meantime, I'm gonna put the air cleaner back on and we'll give her a fire and see what we get. So hang on. Sounds pretty good to me. So I won't really know until the motor warms up real good, but I'm sure it's going to make a difference. At least I'll get a lot more oil up there. So, but anyway, yeah, that's putting in, drilling out your push rods. Here's a twin cam, drilling out your push rods. Again, these were fueling or are fueling push rods. Now, the reasoning why they're smaller than OEM factory Harley, I don't know. So it's just something to be aware of when you do it. If you do upgrade, I don't know about S&S. I have S&S lifters in this, but I did have the fueling push rods. So again, I drilled them out, and I want more oil up on top. So anyway, that's how you drill them out, and yeah, she's good. So I just want to say, hey, thanks for watching this. If you would do this, would you please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification. So anyway, that's drilling out push rods. Anyway, that's drilling out push rods, fueling push rods. I don't know why the holes are smaller than OEM Harley Davidson. I don't know, but I wanted more oil up on top, and I'm getting more oil up on top now. So, but anyway, that's I'm done with this project, and I'll find out when I warm it up how she's going. But anyway, if you like this video, hey, give me a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the notification. Then you see when I have something else uploaded. But otherwise, that's all I got on this one. We'll talk to you later. Peace.